Hello, hello. Hey, everybody. So, tonight we are chatting about intro to my favorite oils. And if you would have asked me 7 years ago if I would ever be spending my Tuesday night telling you about my favorite oils, I would have thought that you were crazy. In fact, prior to 7 years ago, as a registered nurse in a medical family, growing up with that mindset, someone approached me with a bottle of oil because she knew my kids were sick all of the time. And bless her heart, she took the effort, she made the effort to try to help me. But I had no idea what essential oils were. I thought they were crazy and probably pretty hokey. And I appreciated her gesture, but completely blew her off. I feel really bad about that, except she was also promoting a different company. So I am glad that I didn't go all the way there. However, a year later, I was finally ready. I was desperate. I was looking for answers to keep my family well. And it just happened to be the right thing at the right time, which is what a lot of our story is, right? We've all said, "Oh, I wish I would have found out about these sooner." But when you're ready, that's when it appears. And that was my story. So 6.5 years ago, my family was just not well. We were typical, we were normal, we're American family, but we were not well, always sick, always going to the pediatrician's office. And as a nurse, I thought that was actually pretty normal. It shows you how messed up our whole system is, because I didn't know how to keep my family well. All I knew how to do for my medical training was to treat disease, but I didn't know how to prevent it. We weren't taught that. So I started looking, and a friend had posted online about essential oils. I thought that sounded fairly intriguing and maybe like the thing that could help us, because nothing else was helping us stay well. So you guys know my story, but maybe some of you are hearing it for the first time. We got our starter kit. My husband thought he was going to be the guinea pig for every new little concoction that I was going to try to put on him. But he also thought we'd talk about oils for like a month or two, and then they get put on the shelf and we go on with our normal everyday life. Ha ha ha. Little did he know that that decision was going to turn our lives upside down. So a couple of weeks into getting our starter kit, my son came home from kindergarten with a really, really bad stomach stuff going on. Really, 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 really bad, from what all the kids in the class were having. So we applied some peppermint to his belly on a warm compress. And we also made this human diffuser, which you can do. You just put a couple drops of oil on your hand. This is a free diffuser, by the way. A couple drops on your hand, and you just breathe deeply. In fact, I think all of us need to stop and breathe our oils throughout the day way more intentionally and just breathe it in. So he did that. And peppermint, as you know, is super powerful. One drop of the Young Living peppermint is the equivalent of 28 cups of peppermint tea. So pretty powerful stuff. And it took his stomach bug and chucked it to the curb, and we watched a complete transformation before our eyes. And at that moment, I realized, okay, these don't just smell good in my diffuser. It's not just to replace candles. These actually work inside my body. I didn't have a clue how they worked, but I saw it, I witnessed it, and I decided to take them a little more seriously. And since then, they have truly turned our lives upside down. And we use them for everything. You're going to hear stories tonight of people using oils for almost everything that's out there. And if you have an oily friend, when you're around them, they're probably saying things like, "Well, we do have an oil for that. Well, we have an oil for that too. There is an oil for that." We can't help it. We're just so excited. We want to help you see results. So the end of the story, not end, but a fun part of our story is that we went from going to the pediatrician's office every other month. And now in 6.5, almost 7 years, one child has been to the doctor for illness one time. So it's not that we don't get sick. We still do, but not nearly as often, not nearly as bad. And I have tools and resources as a mom that I can feel confident in giving to my kids, and we're seeing results with it. We're sleeping better. We have happy tummies, healthy skin, chemical-free lifestyle, and it has been one of the best decisions, which is why so many of my friends are here, because we have joined together in this journey. A lot of us have met because of this journey, which is a big perk. And so I'm going to invite some of them to share their stories about their favorite oils. Would love just to have interaction in the chat and just for this to be a fun conversation. And if you're listening to the replay, we hope that you can hear the energy and feel the excitement. So, Vicki, I want to know why you chose Young Living.
Okay, so that will be about October 5, about 5 years ago, coming up this October. My husband was getting ill, and he never really got ill too much. A lot of respiratory stuff, and went to the doctor, got on steroids and all that stuff. It still wasn't getting better. And a family member had come over and recommended some oils, and I had no clue what they were, never heard of them. But at the time, we were like, okay, we'll try it, okay, it's not going to hurt anything, And so that was the very first time that we were exposed to the oils. And it was literally from that day, and I don't know the exact day, but it was in October, we never stopped. And we just kept seeing different things, and I kept asking her more questions and learning a little bit more about the oils. And then it was, my husband and I are not people that just because you say something, we're going to believe it. Like, we both like to research it and, look at different things, and, we have to convince us. And so we had got on Amazon and got a couple from Amazon, got a couple from Walmart, and compared them ourselves, and you could definitely tell a difference. And so in November, I bought a starter kit, and then I also got the desk reference. And then my husband ended up having cancer. It always chokes me up. Yeah, sorry. So anyway, that got me digging and really plowing into it. And that's when I really just became this research freak. And I compared like all different companies and how long they've been here. And Young Living by far is the best because of their seed to seal slogan. It's not just a slogan, it's the real deal. I mean, from the seed that goes in the ground to the bottle that we have in our hands, it's amazing. It really is. Sorry. Why I cry. Anyway, the testing that they do is beyond any testing that I think any other company does. The quality is beyond compare. I mean, when you have two bottles just compare side by side, and you can definitely tell a difference. I mean, just your nose alone, you can tell a difference without all the scientific things behind it. They're the leader. They're the most transparent company I've ever seen in my life. Like, just everything about them, once you learn about them, you just can't help but fall in love. And then the products also, like, they're just undescribable, undeniable, how they can help with every aspect of your life. So for us, it was a little bit of research, and there's just no question it's the best thing that's ever happened to us.
Oh, I love it, Vicki. So tell us, how is your husband doing today? What's the rest of the story?
He is very good. He's going on 3 years now in remission, I guess.
Awesome. Awesome.
And God, of course.
Absolutely.
Not the oils. We don't worship the oils.
That's right. That's right. It's just a tool that God uses, and He gives us as a gift. And I hear in your voice the gratitude for that gift that you were given through the oils. I'm grateful I got to know you through this journey. That our paths would have crossed otherwise. And so cool when you said, as part of your answer to why you chose Young Living, because you did the smell test. I mean, how basic is that any of us can do and compare the different smells, and you just know something's different.
And that was more of like a comparison as in cost, because my husband was like, well, let's just see, these are cheaper. But, when you put it in the diffuser and it lasts maybe 5 minutes, if that, and you put the other one in, and it's completely, I mean, even he could, he was sold at that point. I didn't even have to like try to convince him. He could smell the difference.
I love it. I love it. Thank you for sharing, Vicki. I learn something new about your story every time I hear it. So I appreciate that. Very cool. Ashley, I am coming to you next. I think you're going to share with us some fun and simple ways to use your oils, as well as some diffusing tips. I know that sometimes oils can be, it might feel overwhelming because it's foreign to us. But Ashley's going to break it down and tell us some fun and simple ways that we can use them.
Okay, so yes, I'm going to talk about simple ways to use them, to get used to using them, because when you first get started, it's, like she said, it seems foreign. And the biggest hang up, I guess, that people often say is, I don't think I would use oils that much. Okay. But once you start putting them in all the different rooms in your house, and you start turning to them first, it just becomes second nature. So one of the things that we do is we have these little like trays. You can get these at the dollar store, Dollar Tree. You can actually order them on dollartree.com, and there's like 10 of them in a package. And so I have one sitting on our island in the kitchen. The kids have one in their bathroom. I have one in my bathroom. So these sit everywhere. And I will buy multiples of our most common oils that we use: lavender, purification, lemon, thieves, RC, we're big RC fans, Digest, things like that. And put them in here. So my kids, how I've trained them is by saying, when they say, oh, my stomach's upset, or I'll say, okay, go grab the oil. They know what the bottle looks like. They know where it's at. It's easily accessible for them. And, so simple story. My son got a sting this last weekend for the first time. And I've never had to deal with a sting of any kind. And so I wasn't really sure what to do. So another thing is, like, to make using oils more second nature is to get some sort of resource material that's easy. So I call this my oily Bible, and it sits on my bureau where I can grab it at any time. And see, Shannon has the same thing sitting right there. Yep. So we just, yep, everybody, yeah, same. We all use it. The Oily Bible. It has great information, how to use oils, how the oils are sourced, where they come from, all of that. So I flipped really fast to Sting and found that the top blend to put on it was purification. So in one of these trays, I have purification hanging out. So I grabbed purification, put 1 drop on my son's bee sting, and within minutes, he's like, it doesn't hurt anymore. So that's how, when you have them easily accessible, when they're sitting out, it's easier to turn to them instead of going into your medicine cabinet and trying to pull out something that you would have used before you started using oils. Another fun way that we do them is I love to make roller bottles. They're my favorite thing. So I make ones for my kids. This one says good vibes. This one says relax. So, and they have their initials because each kid has a different one. So these are 2 of my boys, and there's special blends inside of them. I make them fun, make them with labels. Our team has an app called the Life Steps app, which if you're on our team and you don't have it, you should grab it, because every month they give us free roller bottle labels that you can print out. I bought sticker paper from Walmart for like $5. I have a printer, and I throw the sticker paper in my printer. I print out the roller labels, cut them out with scissors, and voila, I've got fun. Some of them are blank, some of them have the words on them. It just so happened that this had words, and it just fit the good vibes. It's for my preteen son who's going through all the fun hormonal changes. And the relax is for my 5-year-old who is always like all the time. So trying to get him to bring it down like 3 or 4 notches. So making fun roller bottles. And I know it might seem almost like too easy making fun labels. But when they look pretty, when they have fun names, when they're easily accessible, all of that makes using them easier, more fun, and become more like second nature. You know, when you're first getting into it and you get a bug bite, you know, and your first thought is to run to a cream, you know, because everybody has those creams, you get a bug bite. Once you learn that, like, oh, hey, purification or lavender work awesome for bug bites, or our lavender lip balm. It's what my kids like to use. So I write with a permanent marker, bug bite or itch something, itch stop. I don't know what I write on it, but and then when they have it, they can easily, you know, go grab it. And it's just training. It's just, oh, I'm gonna grab this instead. And so those are kind of like the fun ways that we use them, especially when you're trying to retrain like your family, when they're used to grabbing something for, you know, a headache or a stomach ache or a bug bite. It's just making them easily accessible, making them pretty and fun, and yeah, just stopping and thinking, what do I have? And if you don't know, having a resource like the Life Steps app or a book like this is incredibly helpful to flip to and go, oh, okay, I can use that. And then I'm also going to share just a little bit about diffusing tips. The same thing kind of works for diffusing tips. You have to have your oils easily accessible. I know that a lot of people hang them on their walls, you know, in their kitchen, in their living room, in their bedrooms, bathrooms. And so that helps. Having these in each room helps. And then just setting the time. So what we do is, you know, we'll get up in the morning, or my daughter likes to help. And so we'll pick a fun diffuser recipe for the day. There are so many. And again, LifeStep app has a ton of options, a ton of fun ideas. You can opt in for different kinds of text message updates. So if you want new diffuser recipes, that's a fun way to get reminded to use your diffuser, is to opt in to getting those updates. And you know, you might spend the whole week diffusing one certain blend because it just clicks. So fun, different things you could do is pick a different blend, you know, if you like to start your week on Sunday, pick the blend you're going to diffuse for the week. If you are a Monday morning person and that's when you feel like starting fresh, pick a blend for Monday and diffuse it Monday through Friday, and then do something different on the weekends. You can have, you know, weekend blends when you're home more. You can have blends for depending on what, you know, time of the year it is, if it's seasonal time, if you need a pick-me-up, if it's wintry, if it's Christmas time. So having some of those recipes just like saved on your phone or printed out. We have a lot of cards that you can print out on, like just little stuff like this. That all makes it really simple to pick from, because I know no, my husband just thought he was gonna fill his cup with ice. I lost my train of thought too when he did that. Anyway, so picking a diffuser blend, and sometimes you're not gonna, you might even try something that's, you're just like, oh, like I'm like, oh, I like spearmint, I really like lemon, and I really like lemongrass, because lemon and lemongrass smell totally different. So I'm like, I'm gonna throw all of them in. And sometimes I do that. I'm like, that smells good. Other times I'm like, no, nope, that's not a good idea. We're gonna dump that out and start again. Because some of it just does not mesh well. So anyway, trial and error. But having the oils easily accessible in something like this, even if it's not this many, you know, if you get something they sell, check out Etsy. They have ones that hold like 4 or 5 bottles. They make keeping it easily accessible. And yeah, so those are my tips for getting those oils consistently being used and consistently being diffused.
I love it. Awesome. And you're so right that if it is, we have to retrain our brain and retrain our family. And so having things accessible is really what makes a difference. Sorry for my coloring here. Thank you, Ashley. That's awesome. Okay, Suzanne, I'm coming to you. I think you have some stories to tell us briefly about lemon, lavender, and peppermint.
I do. I want to assure everyone that I am not driving. I am sitting at the ballpark. My daughter is in her turning room. I'm going to share with you the bottles, the 5 ml bottle, and I take the lid off. Let me get this where you can see it. There's the 5 ml bottle, and I take that orifice out and put this little filament in there, and then you can very carefully just roll it on wherever you want it. I've even still got the tag from, probably it was a lemon bottle, and I just covered it up. It says seasonal discomfort. I put 10 drops of each one, 10 lavender, 10 lemon, 10 peppermint, and then I'll top it off with a carrier oil like coconut, grapeseed, anything like that. You can even use olive oil if you want to. Excuse me. The last thing I want to say is, of course, because I keep this with me in this little handy dandy pouch or something, it goes with me all the time. I have a granddaughter who has trouble with car sickness. So she'll say, "Oh, I'm not feeling so good." She doesn't know this is for seasonal discomfort. I just give it to her. She rolls it on, and the car sickness leaves. So they're good for everything. Just get them on is all I can say. And I'm going to leave you ladies and go back to the ball game, and I will catch up and listen to the tail end of this when I get done. Thank you.
Thanks, Suzanne. Love that tip. That's so good. And you're right. There, we can take away the pressure to get it right. Just get oils on you. Just get them on you, and you'll start seeing results. I love it. Am I frozen again? Oh, am I back? Okay, Lisa, are you able to hop on?